ExtraOrdinary, the Power Series Book 3. Written by Starr Z. Davies. Narrated by Gillian R. Shelton. Extraordinary. Adjective. Beyond standard quality or rank. Something exceptional. Of a person with remarkable qualities or distinctive features. Part 1. Crime continues to increase exponentially on the eastern side of Elpis. Assault, arson, robbery, homicide. These crimes are spreading, and now the Department of Military Affairs and the Directorate are facing an even tougher challenge: a rogue group of radicals spreading anti-directorate rumors. Now is the time for severe consequences for offenders. Directorate Chief Cetus. 1 week before Paragon Tower bombing. 1. I have this reoccurring dream. I'm attached to a table with tungsten straps all over my body. A shriek echoes off the stark white walls of the room and rings in my ears. Every time I wonder the same thing. What moron is making that racket? And then I realize it's me. I scream as the metal straps cut into my skin, bending against the force of my struggling body. I scream as the doctors work together, holding me still enough to stab a needle in my arm, and fire burns through my body. I scream as the straps break free and I rush the tungsten door, buckling it against the frame upon collision. I scream a name I can never hear over the shrill sound of my own voice while I pound bloody fists against the door that continues to buckle but never breaks. I scream as they shoot me, and then I never scream again. 2. The room is white from the tiled floors to the seamless ceiling. Along one wall, a bay of mirrors cast the image of an unfamiliar girl back at me. Her muscles are thick along the shoulders and cabled down her bare arms. Her clothing is stark, black, like death. A fury burns in the copper eyes glaring at me. Not a strange girl. Me, Bianca Pond. Anxious and confused, I pull my long dark hair over one shoulder and begin braiding it loosely as I investigate my situation. The small, square room has no door, only the single metal chair and the wall of mirrors. Even the lights are recessed into the ceiling so deep I cannot see where they are, as if the ceiling itself glows with light. Anxiety presses against my chest and makes my vision swim. Where am I? How do I get out? Maybe breaking the mirror will do the trick. I ball my hands into fists at my sides and watch as the muscles in my arms swell in size. Such strength. It pulses and hums in my muscles, intoxicating in its primal power. I pull back a fist and slam it into the mirror. The mirror vibrates and my reflection quakes as the mirror absorbs the impact, singing a dull song of mourning. But it doesn't break. It must be reinforced with naturalist power, I think, surprised by the sound of my voice in my head. "Do you remember where you are?" a man says. His voice emanates from all around me. I tilt my head back to gaze at the ceiling and turn in a slow circle. "Do you remember where you are?" he asks again. His voice carries the same inflection as before, as if the question is a recording. I close my eyes, dig in my mind for memories, but can only grasp flashes. A funeral. 2 caskets. Someone beside me with his arm draped over my shoulders. He has the same eyes as me. A squat, long government building with giant fluted columns and a balcony on the top floor, my finger pressed against a tablet. I open my eyes slowly. The Department of Military Affairs. "Why are you here?" he asks. To protect the city and the citizens from acts of terror, I say. The words don't register with my mind, but they sound right as they slip past my lips. So they don't lose their families to the radicals like I did. Silence. I turn to face the mirror again. Someone must be on the other side. Why am I here? To protect the citizens of Elpis from radicals, he says, spouting my answer back at me. I shake my head. No, I mean, why am I here? I wave toward the doorless room. You volunteered to be here. Volunteered. Again, the memory of pressing my finger to a tablet surface flashes through my mind, but it feels foreign, like it isn't mine. Despite the odd sensation, I do recall volunteering for a special DMA project. Radicals killed my parents, and the DMA offered me this chance. Or someone did. A man, whose face I cannot quite grasp, extended me the opportunity to join this secret project with the promise that it would help me avenge the murder of Mom and Dad. It would make me stronger, faster, better. Anger burns in my chest as I step toward the mirror again, examining the way my deltoid muscles are so defined, the increased size of my biceps. Clenching my fists again, the cabling of each muscle in my arms becomes more distinct. With this level of strength, I could punch a fist through the giant fluted columns I recall from outside the administration building. I could crush a man's skull with a single blow. I could exact my revenge on the radicals. I am ready, I say with confidence, simmering anger and hate burning in my voice. Not yet. First, we need to run you through some tests to assess the efficacy of your transition. Then, you will be assigned to a unit and begin your training. The metal chair disappears, replaced by a treadmill. I step back, but this is familiar. A simulation, perhaps. First, we will test your endurance and speed. This test is unnecessary. I already know my capabilities, how fast I can run and for how long. The knowledge is burned into my mind as if pressed into my muscles by the sheer memory of having run it before. A desire to scoff and tell him I don't need to run rises in my throat. But I step on the treadmill as if it was a natural, given movement. My body betrays my thoughts. And I run, my feet only grazing the treadmill as the speed of the belt keeps easy pace with me. Run until I can't run any more, he says. And so I do, without question, even though I have plenty to ask. Once again, my body betrays my mind. It's impossible to know how much time passes. The treadmill has no timer, no distance, no display. It's simply the belt, the rollers, and me. My breathing is evenly paced, matching the rhythmic whisper of my boots across the belt. Hunger burns in my stomach, yet I haven't even broken a sweat yet. I run for hours. How far have I gone? Miles? The longer I run, the more that hunger eats away at me until, at last, I hop off. Have you reached your limit? The mysterious male voice asks the moment the belt of the treadmill stops whirring. I'm hungry. Have you reached your limit? He repeats. Yes, I lie. I haven't reached my limit, but the hunger is overwhelming, as if my insides are eating away at themselves. 177 and 554, he says, though I don't believe he's talking to me. What does that even mean? My stomach rolls painfully and I clench my gut. I need food. The treadmill vanishes. A small pedestal table appears in the corner of the room, piled with cooked fish and linguine noodles, along with a loaf of French bread. I sink into the single chair beside the table and dive into the meal, eating with a voracious hunger like I've never experienced before. or at least, I don't think I've ever experienced it before. Everything goes down so fast I don't taste any of it. They could have given it to me unflavored and I would not have noticed. As I press the last piece of bread into the crumbs on the plate and wash everything down with my third glass of milk, the treadmill reappears. Again, he says. With a full stomach, I am prepared for the next run. As I run, my mind drifts to my parents. Mom with her heart-shaped face so much like my own. I can remember her warmth, kindness, compassion. Yet I can't seem to recall anything more specific. The same issue surfaces as I think about Dad. His presence is always strict, expectant, yet loving, and I remember that I have his eyes, but no specific memories will rise to the surface, except for one. My burning desire to avenge them. So as I run, I imagine their killers in front of me, and it hastens my steps. The rest of my day continues much the same. After running and eating 3 more times, the time getting longer as well as the distance, a bed replaces everything in the room. Rest, he says. We will begin again tomorrow. I settle into the bed, wondering if they will require me to do nothing more than run again. The comforter is warm and soft, if a bit institutional white, and the pillow welcomes me. I drift off, thinking about what awaits. 3. The next 3 days are comparable. Day 2, they test my lifting capacity. Day 3, the force of my fists and feet. Day 4, I watch videos of professional fighters in judo, MMA, boxing, and more, then have to mimic their fighting from memory. On day 5, I wake in a strange bedroom on a soft mattress. The surrounding room has walls in such a light shade of gray they almost appear white. A 5-foot-long modern art canvas adds a brilliant rainbow of color to the space, and the throw rug on the floor has matching hues, though a unique pattern. A nightstand beside the bed holds only a clear glass tablet. Frowning, I slip my bare feet out from under the sage-down comforter and pad toward the door. The throw rug is soft as I pass over it and open the door to the narrow main living space. I pause in the doorway, taking in the area. Like my room, the walls are light gray with splashes of color on paintings, throw rugs, and furniture. The kitchen is compact, just off to the right, with 2 bar stools at one counter. Directly across from my door, another stands open, revealing a bedroom exactly like my own, and beside the kitchen, 2 more doors. One is open, revealing a small bathroom. The other is closed. It must be the exit. There are no windows anywhere. Where am I? Is this home? Why can't I remember home? A girl perhaps 2 or 3 years older than me sits up from where she lounges on a blood-red sofa in the living room. "You're awake," she says, as if surprised, as if I should recognize her. "They told me you were coming." She rises, placing her tablet on the sofa to approach me. "I'm excited to have a roommate." "Roommate?" I ask, turning to her. "Do I know you?" She pauses in front of me, a full head shorter with brilliant red hair in smooth layers to her shoulders. "Polly," she says, holding out a hand. "We haven't met yet, no." I frown at her hand, taking it and shaking in a firm grip that causes her wince. My grasp is a touch too rough. "Steele," I say, letting go of her hand. The name falls from my lips, but I don't recall it. I intended to tell her my actual name, Bianca, but cannot. "Where are we?" Polly's smile falters and she steps back. "What is that about?" "The DMA provided us with accommodations." The Department of Military Affairs. The mission: to save the citizens of Elpis from terrorism. Understanding washes through me, even though I still don't recall any of it distinctly. My memory continues to feel disjointed. "Are we in the same unit then?" I ask, stepping to the fridge and deliberately opening the door to avoid accidentally breaking it with my strength. Fresh fruit, vegetables, and various meats and cheeses line the shelves. One full shelf holds dozens of cartons of milk. "No," Polly says. Is she retreating further away? I hadn't caught when she took that initial step backward, but now she appears to be cautiously hedging away from me. "Everything you need to know should be on your tablet." Polly glances at the clock on the wall nearby. "Anyway, we should get ready. They'll be here for us soon." "Who?" I ask, but as I glance up from the fridge, she is already retreating into her room and closing the door. Taking a carton of milk and an apple, I retire to my room. My thumb brushes over the skin of the apple, and a peculiar sense of sadness envelops me. The sensation is absurd. Why should an apple cause so much sorrow? Yet I cannot deny the hollow notion, the desolation that accompanies it. I set the apple down, impatient to cast off these new emotions, and pick up the tablet. The moment my finger contacts the screen, it lights up. B Pond. Call sign, Steel. Special Forces Unit 15. Mission log, 0700 report for orientation and training. Training officer, Nevermore Poe. Liaison agent, Dr. Forrest Pond. I blink at the information rising from the surface. Forest Pond. Coppery eyes like mine. A comforting arm. Rain and puddles and mud castles that melt into the ground. We share the same last name. Could he be the fragmented memory from the funeral? My memories slip from my grasp like water through my fingers. The harder I struggle to maintain them, the more discouraging it is when they elude me. Yet some portion of them remains, just at the edge of my mind, like that thing you can sense behind you but never perceive. Eager for a diversion, I explore the tablet for more information, but only the one report displays. With an exhale, I set the tablet down and study my room. I know this place, and yet I feel as if I've never been here before. Why is it so familiar, yet so utterly foreign? What has happened to me? I volunteered to join the Special Forces in the DMA, I remind myself, and the conviction of that thought consoles me a little. I signed up for this. I belong here. And today, I will start my formal training. Then, perhaps soon, I will hunt down the radicals and make them pay for what they have done to my parents.
If you enjoyed this sample, click the links in the description to hear more. Do you want free audiobooks, ebooks, or autographed paperbacks? Join me on Patreon at patreon.com/szdavies_character-assassin. You'll gain access to my Discord server, behind-the-scenes updates, merch, and so much more.